Here we are in episode 5, Big Flats, Texas. There's a lot to catch up with things going on, so I encourage you to check out the playlist linked in the description below. There's certainly a lot going on in Big Flats, Texas. Right now, we are working on a field contract we accepted last time, as our fields are really pretty good. We have 2 fields with soybeans, just to kind of catch you up. We have 2 fields with soybeans that are good until fall harvest. One more smaller field of 8 hectares that's right now really kind of undecided. We just bought a cattle farm and I started mowing some grass to get started on that. Well, in the meantime, until we can harvest our soybean crop, what we're doing right now, oops, it looks like I let him get a full grain tank while I was talking. What we're doing right now is I got to get him started again. We accepted a contract. Let's get him started back up. We accepted a contract on a neighboring field as we have some time. It's a pretty big contract. As you can see, this is a 27 hectare field. It's no small feat of work. This contract is going to pay us $31,000. Yeah, we've already harvested quite a bit because here's 70,000 liters plus what's in that. Just from these few rows right here, we've already harvested quite a bit from this field. Usually at the beginning of these episodes, I like to catch up on quite a bit more of what we've been doing. But now that we're in episode 5, there's been so much going on. But if you're watching episode 5, then you've likely watched previous episodes, so we can get on with what we're doing. So if you recall, last episode, I think, well, you can recall, we bought the cattle farm. We bought the cattle farm. That grass down there is mowed in the pasture. I haven't done anything with that. Right now, it's all hands on deck for this. And when I say all hands on deck, I mean, well, just me and whatever workers I can hire at the moment. So I'm going to try to catch him at the beginning of this row. If I don't, it's not the end of the world. He'll stop and wait for me. Let's go take these one load at a time. Yeah, he may stop briefly at the south end of the field. And that's good. Let's keep him going. And right here, BF Cranes, gate 1 is where we are taking this to empty. Let's catch back up to the combine. He will be waiting for us. It's okay. It's okay. I'd rather have him waiting down there than I would having him facing the other way and waiting and then having to get in the combine, flip it around. So we'll just catch up to him down there and we'll keep him topped off at the head of the field in the north end. This is looking pretty good. So we'll cruise with him here and do some harvesting, because we don't have to empty this. There's no point in emptying this until we have at least 70,000 liters to put in the semi, so we can follow along for a couple of rows and do some farming here. With some of the new equipment that we're getting, planting could be a lot of fun. With the big equipment that I still have yet to use for planting, we'll see how that goes. All right, we don't quite have a full load for the semi-truck, but almost. I'll leave the semi-truck here until we do have a full load. I went ahead and finished harvesting that contract over on field 11, and that was going to be an entire episode, but it was literally, I was pretty right in my estimation. It was about 2 solid hours of harvesting, so I cut that down for you. I finished harvesting over there, and then as it happens, I actually made a lot more. I believe the contract was for about $30,000, something like that. Well, as it turns out, there was crop left over. I don't usually do contracts, but that is apparently the case. There was crop left over, and I'm going to save that until the right time of year to sell it, where we're here at the cattle farm now. But once I'm able to sell that, I end up making about 2 or 3 times what the contract was worth. So welcome to, this is the second half of part 5 here in the series, Big Flats, Texas. If you haven't seen the series or want to catch up or anything like that, there's a link to the playlist in the description below, so be sure to check that out, the other episodes. So we are here on the cattle farm, And if you notice my small lack of money, it's because I started getting some equipment for the cattle farm here. And that's kind of the reason I don't have any cattle still just yet. Well, we just bought this last episode. And that's because, well, equipment's going to take a minute. I got a front loader. I got us a good front loader for the farm. And then kind of wasn't looking at my money and decided I wanted a good John Deere forage wagon. Those together set me back quite a bit. But these are things that we're going to need. The front loader is really handy. You can see here we've got some bales. Here I've taken one bale apart. There's quite a bit of straw in one of these bales. And you can see if I pull the strings off this bale here, yeah, there's quite a bit of straw. These are pretty tightly packed, big bales, 8,200 liters a piece. The advantage of having a big front loader like this is the one we bought. Cost a pretty penny. But the advantage of this is that I can get more than a bale's worth in this at a time. We can go ahead and let's put this in the forage wagon. So I'm kind of holding off for right now on expanding the cattle farm anymore until we have some more money. We got $100,000 there, and I'd like to have, you know, at least that much to fall back on. Let's dump this straw in here for now until I decide what I'm going to do with it. Yeah, but I found us a good front loader, or wheel loader, I should say. A good wheel loader with a good forage kind of bucket, silage bucket on the front. And we're going to park this over here. So, yeah, I'm holding off here until, well, you know, we still need cattle to get the trailer in, other things like that. We can work some over here on the grass field. And speaking of grass, I decided that field 16, definitely going to plant grass there. Yeah, we are, let's see, afternoon of middle of July. So, yeah, let's get started on planting some grass there. It's totally ready to go. We finished harvesting our contract there. Yeah, I said I was going to make $30,000. I actually made about $60,000 with the grain that sold, and then the rest of the grain I saved, and we're going to sell that when the time is right, and that'll bring us in quite a bit more. So for now, let's see, what do we want to plant? Well, grass, but I mean, what equipment do we want to use? Well, I guess we'll use the same equipment I always use for that. I'm going to grab the seeder with the JCB, and the big bud, well, it's already down there. I believe it should still be down there. The big bud has been my go-to for planting because the seeder requires power to pull it. Our 9RX is still over here, so we'll use what's down there. I could buy a dedicated grass planter, you know, but I don't have, I mean, there's equipment that does it, like weeders, you know, and stuff like that, but we don't have anything like that, so we're just going to use the Big Daddy planter here, or seeder, I should say. We're going to use the Big Daddy seeder right here, if I remember to pull in the correct direction. Not that one. Can't use that one yet until I get an air cart to go with it. That is that's the Big Daddy seeder, I guess. This is the semi Big Daddy. The still fairly big. And how are we on seeds? Good. Let's not forget to, let's pull this up here so we can see, change this over to grass. Never forget to do that. I've done that a few times and plant like half a field or one crop I don't want. There is our header trailer, which is probably continuing to move. Is it moving now? It's always annoyed me, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'll move that out of the way next time we're here with a free tractor. I'll move that somewhere else. Maybe it's that area of the yard that likes to make it slide around. Maybe because there's kind of a slope to the ground there. Maybe that's what causes it. I haven't decided. I haven't figured it out really exactly what causes that, but so let's get down to field 16. Drive through the beautiful Texan countryside. And let's see, everything there is prepared. Don't have any fertilizer. We'll get the fertilizer down after I plant the grass. We'll get that sprayed. But yeah, the liming's done. We just tilled up the ground. Yeah. And our other tractor should be waiting for us down here, of course. Alright, so I want to thank you guys for the views on this series. And don't forget, if there's any comments or remarks you want to make or things you'd like to see, be sure to leave that down in the comments. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, follow along. There's going to be more of this. I also am thinking about, well, one thing for sure, as long as I'm speaking in channel terms here, one thing for sure is Starfield. When that comes out, I know that's going to be a big thing for me and the channel. I'm really looking forward to that. Farming Simulator is always ever present, as well as I might have some American Truck Simulator videos coming soon as well. For now, I'm working on this series and whatever else comes to mind. So back to the game. Here we are, field 16. Yep, the big bud is down here, waiting to take delivery of our seeder. And swap utensils, swap tools here. Let's get this out of the way. And we'll be doing this with the big bud, of course. Squeeze in here. Let's drop the disc and get right to the seeding. And we'll be following behind this with fertilizer, but first I want to get a good portion of the field done. Right, he's hooked up and ready to go. We'll just pull this disc off to the side, and then we'll run this back to the farm. At some point, we'll have to run back to the farm to grab the John Deere fertilizing. Let's pull this over here for now. You know, this field, I always tend to think of this field in small terms, because it does. It's funny how that works. Playing here in Texas, farming here in Texas, everything, you're just used to seeing everything so big. I mean, you know what they say, everything's bigger in Texas. Well, this field is 8 hectares, almost 8 hectares, which in a lot of places would be a really big field. But for some reason, it just doesn't seem big here. And I think of it in small terms. It's funny, it could be the big equipment that I'm using, but it doesn't feel that big. And yeah, so regarding the seeder, I am looking forward to using our big seed drill that we got, because it is about 30 feet wider than this one. For now, we got this guy, and we're going to want to line up about here, I'm thinking. Yeah, this looks good. And let's get going with the grass. Yeah, one reason I decided to go with grass here, after much debating back and forth of what I was going to do, decided we should do grass here because the other 2 fields are going to make us plenty of money. We still have the harvest from earlier this year, which I've not sold. I'm not going to sell the harvest from last year, or sorry, from earlier this year until probably December when the prices are highest. With that money still to come, and the money from these soybeans, but that's not going to come till you know, about a year from now. We don't need this for a serious cash crop. And the thing is, grass will grow pretty quick, and then we can harvest it and still have time. Let's have a look. See, we can harvest the grass and still have time to put down wheat or something if we decide to here. In fact, that doesn't sound like a half bad idea. Maybe barley. We should be able to. We might be able to, yeah, we can probably harvest grass and still have time to put down barley. I know that we got pretty good money from the barley from that contract field that I harvested for, earlier. So let's line back up here, and I'll probably hire a worker to do this once we get set. I want to start, let's put the tool down. Well, I want to get some good rows of grass in here before we bring that fertilizer, because that fertilizer's got a pretty big span. So over on the cattle farm, let's see. I got us kind of two essential things that we needed. The forage harvester, the forage wagon, I should say, the forage wagon, that was a big, those things are not cheap. Those things are not cheap, but I knew I was going to need a wheel loader, and that we've got fermenting silos over there. Well, we've got bunker silos and fermenting silos. So we can turn, with the fermenting silos, we can turn anything into silage, or we also got a grass dryer. We got a grass dryer, and we got fermenting silo to change anything we want into silage. So we can use the bunker silo or not. And then we also have a, well, yeah, I think that's what we got over there. I can check, actually, in our production. Yeah, we got a grass dryer. Oh, that's right. That's what the third one is. It's a TMR silo. And there we can put in, yeah, silage and then hay and straw. Okay. We don't have any place to store the straw. Not really, except, you know, we can ferment straw, right? Yeah, but there's no way to store straw, so I might have a look at that. I was talking about building a thing to store straw bales, and that doesn't sound like a half bad idea. Let's get another row of this. And well, can we avoid this guy's field? Well, we're going to avoid this guy's field. I should have backed up before turning around there. You know what? Let's do. Yeah, let's do. I don't know why I didn't think of this. Let's turn around and do a north-south row of this. You know, I think I said it last time. These big fields, perfect for big equipment, but the weakness is when you get to the edge of the field and you have such a narrow, yeah, between you and the road or between you and the next field. Look, this will be good enough. Let's just start this here. Oops. And I totally botched my... we'll just get a little bit of headland here so we can turn around. We got a little squiggle in it, but that just gives us some room to turn around. And yeah, somehow this 8 hectares doesn't feel that bad until, of course, once you look at how narrow that planted row is there, and that's actually 2 rows. 8 hectares is 8 hectares, but because of the size of the map, it doesn't look that big. And is the train coming? No. All right, we're going to run over some train track here. All right, now that'll give us just a little bit more room here. Let's see if we can barely have room for this. You know what? Yeah, I was gonna set there, but let's work from one side to the other so that way we've got room. We can bring in the fertilizer. Once we get this row, there will be enough room for the fertilizer. So we're gonna get started in this row, and I'll grab the John Deere and get him ready to go. Let's see. Let's make sure this lines up. Yep, that's going to line up great. All right, go Big Bud, go. So we hired a worker for the rest of the grass. Let's go over and grab that John Deere. Let's take our disc back. There goes the train. That was good timing. Still got the matter of these rocks. Don't have a roller. We could come over this with a roller, or kind of disinclined not to worry about the rocks for right now because they're so small. It's really not a huge deal. Alright, now let's get this back to the homestead. Let's go this way, cut through the grass. And where did I leave the John Deere? I believe, yes, it's parked back here at the farm. I brought it back before that contract. It is, oh yeah, and I parked the sprayer back in the garage as well. I remember now. Wait, are those our soybeans? Yep, those are our soybeans. I was just thinking, oh, there's some nice looking soybeans there, and then I was like, oh, that's our farm. Let's turn here. Here pretty soon we'll be advancing it to August. Once we get the grass down, I'm going to advance this to August. Speaking of time, let's see, is there anything new on sale? No, it's still the same things there. I know we got $100,000, but I kind of feel like we're hurting for money. If something good came up, I probably wouldn't be able to afford it right now. I haven't taken any loans, but I wouldn't be totally adverse to the idea of taking a loan, as we will have money this year, just not at the moment. Oh, just kind of left our grain cart out here all nilly-willy. Let's move this out of the way. Oops. Let's move this out of the way, and let's get that grain cart moved. It doesn't need to be here right now. We'll let the big bud gain some more ground, and I'll bring the fertilizer down. Whoa, this guy, that's why it's parked here. That's why it's parked in front of the washing station. Oh yeah, there was a lot of harvesting. As I said, I was behind the wheel of the harvester for about 2 solid hours, and this thing was making constant non-stop runs. I don't know how much grain I offloaded totally, but a lot. This thing was making constant runs up and down that field. Our field bin got good and dirty, and it looks like it's empty. Got all these wheels. There's only 14 of them. There we go. That's a little better anyway. Yeah, grain bin is empty. Let's get this parked back behind the flat bottom bins here. Very carefully so as not to take out our soybean crop. Oh, there we go. And we'll park this by, I wonder where our semi's at. Our semi's usually over here. He might still be down by that field. There was a lot of work to do over there. Oh, there's our semi right there. Let's go grab our semi. There was a lot of work to do over here. Some of the tools got left scattered around. Our harvester is still over here. Yeah, well, as long as the big bud is still seeding. Whew, look at that big empty field. 27.5 hectares. That's 1.5 times the size of our soybean field we just drove past. That was a huge job. This truck ran a lot of trips to town and back. It's been a very good truck. And I'll park him over by the washing station. We'll wash him here in a little bit. First, I want to get down to, I want to get our John Deere, get our sprayer down to field 16, and get some fertilizer started on our little grass seedlings. The cattle farm is definitely something that's in the foremost of my mind, because I've got about $300,000 in equipment sitting down there for it, and I want to think about what we can do to start expanding, working on that. We'll spray this off in a minute. Let's go grab our John Deere in the shed here, the machine shed. This is, I call this the machine shed because, well, there's none in here now, but in the winter and such like that, this is where all the machines go, as in self-propelled machines. And then the other one over there, I started calling the tool shed. That's where we'll be putting the disc. We're done with it for now. And then we got the sprayers over here in the garage. The tool shed is mostly for, discs, planters, seeders. The seeder we have now wasn't in there. It's a little too big. And our sprayer should be behind door number 1. Oops. Oh, come on, what am I thinking? We don't have to hitch it through the door. Let's open the door first. It is right here, though. I closed the door a little bit tight on it. And how is our fill level? We're going to want some more, probably. Let's just go down to the trailer. The trailer's right down here. We'll just go down there and refill off of it. The trailer's in a decent location because it's kind of between fields 1 and 10, the two biggest. It's right down the street here. So we'll drive down here. Oh yeah, I got to move our harvester off that guy's land. Yeah, that was a big fun job. I decided, I originally recorded, speaking of the episode here, I originally recorded this episode. This episode was originally finishing that entire field. But when I look back at it, I realized the entire video was just harvesting and talking about things, but not doing them, just harvesting. And I decided, you know what, let's cut that down. So there's definitely a lot of harvesting footage from all of that, but it was pretty much the same, you know, run a row, running the truck back and forth, catching up to the harvester, all that good stuff. Let's get this guy refilled. Got our tank here. The tank might move, but for now I just don't have a way to move it. All right, now we're going to run down to field 16 with this. Whoops. Oh, never mind. We got narrow tires. We're good. And this is fully fertilized. Yeah, I'm sure we finished that. I know we finished that. Look both ways. And yeah, we're good. All right, down to field 11. Catch up with the big bud. I'm so used to driving the JCB. And this is why, of course, the JCB is my runner for tools between farms. I'm so used to driving it. Because it goes, well, yeah, if I was in the JCB, we'd be going a full 20 miles an hour faster. Oh, but you should have been here with me. I cut most of that out. You should have been here with me when I was running that mower down into the grass pasture over there. Because that thing has a top speed of about half of what we're doing now. Yeah. And I was thinking, there's a bigger mower that we can get. I like that big self-propelled mower. It's great. But there is like a batwing style, like bush hog I can get, which has actually got probably about twice the width. That would be better for this field. See that field up there? I love that self-propelled John Deere mower. It is great. It's got a working width of 4 and some meters. What's that, about maybe like 15 feet working width? But I can get I got a big John Deere like batwing, like kind of bush hog kind of thing. That I don't have it. We could buy it, and that would be better for this field. This field being 8 hectares. 8 hectares again doesn't look really big in scope compared to these other fields. But if I pulled a 15-foot wide tool out here, boy, it would look pretty big then. No train coming? Nope. All right, we should be able to get to spraying. He's planting grass. I'll likely only run one course of fertilizer over this. It's just grass. I don't usually fertilize grass all the way. Maybe I should. Sometimes I don't even line for grass, because grass is grass. It grows quick, it grows fast, and I did do that. I do want the ground somewhat prepped, because I'll likely be doing barley. I like the idea of barley. Assuming we can get our grasses grown and cut in time, I'd like to do barley for this over the winter. Let's get this positioned on the field here. Yeah, that's good enough. That'll straighten out nicely. I did the same thing I did before. I had my working width set different. There we go. All right, perfectly set all the way down the row. I think that big bud is moving faster than us. This has got a pretty slow working speed. You think we'll catch up to him though? I think we'll quite likely end up catching him. That's why I wanted to give him a good head start. I do like these. I've said it before, and it is true. I like fields in America. I think that some people might think, I don't know. I've never been to Europe, but most of the farms in Farming Simulator 22 are in Europe. I don't know if it is as compact and curvy as it is in the game, but I think a lot of people might feel that from playing American maps that it's boring. It's not boring. It's just, and that's why I like Big Flats, Texas. You can see the trees. This is my favorite thing about driving through farmland in America is when I'm going down the road and you could just see just hundreds of acres of fields for miles, and you can see the trees in the distance, and you always see that big complex of silos off in the distance. I mean, this is where the bulk of the world's corn comes from, somewhere between America and Ukraine, I would say. And yes, that said, and I grew up originally in rural Indiana, surrounded by cornfields. Indiana is mostly known for just corn and soybeans. I'd like to, just in honor of my own roots where I came from, get a big cornyard in our back field, or cornfield in our backyard there, because I grew up surrounded by cornfields. I think it'd be cool to have that here. Let's move my tractor over just to, oh, I didn't set my track. No wonder it was off. My track over and get my spray wasn't quite hitting where I wanted it to. There we go. Anyway, enough about all of that. I like out of here. To me, this feels like home. Anyway, my goal here, if I have a goal here in Texas, my goal is I want to own that big field, which I'm not sure on the number of it. There we go. There it is. Field 3, which currently has corn. That is my goal, is to own that field. I've never farmed a field that big. I would like to own that field. It's also conveniently right across the road from our house. That field is over 3 times bigger than the one we have in our backyard. That field is 60 hectares. That's probably close to 150 acres. I'd love to get out there, but you know, more and bigger equipment, and of course the investment to buy the field itself. But the thing about investing with land, the way I see it is this: land is always the best investment. Always. Even if a field doesn't pay for itself in the first year, which with these big fields, it will. It'll pay for itself in the first year. Land here is pretty cheap. It's pretty affordable, the land. The thing is, land is it's the best investment in the game, because land always is a constant investment, always. You know, so if you have $400,000 and you have a choice between buying a tract of land or a new tractor, always go for the land, because it will pay back forever. Sometimes I might even buy a piece of land that's a bit bigger than what I can farm, because I know that in the long run I'll be able to get that big tractor, and though it may be a little rough the first year or so farming on it, the land will just, you know, yeah, it'll continue to pay off. So that's like definitely always a good thing to remember. Yeah, I don't think we're going to catch up to him. I think we timed this pretty good. Looks like, because we're going so slow, by the time we catch up to him, we should be right about at the end and have our grass all fertilized. And once our grass here is fertilized, I'm good with just one fertilization stage. It'll be good. And we'll see how long that takes the grass to grow. Hopefully be able to plant some barley. But once the grass is all fertilized, I'm good with moving on into August, unless we want to pick up another contract. This is a possibility. We got today and then one more day in July. Let's see what's available that could possibly make us some money. Cultivating. Okay, I don't have a cultivator. I have a disc harrow, and being a contract, they're probably going to want specific, but they provide. Yeah, but see, I don't like to use the tools they provide. It takes a decent chunk out of the income. So we'll see what's available in August. Is there any... Let's have a look at the crop calendar here. I do a lot of this, you know, jockeying back and forth, doing like strategy. See, there might be a contract for planting canola. There might be. And I believe on this map has a few custom things I've mentioned over the course of the series. And again, of course, there's a link to the entire playlist in the description below. This map has a few custom things, most of which I've mentioned, but one thing I haven't mentioned is that planters can plant canola and sorghum on this map. I have a decent planter. How big is it? 17.8 meters. Yeah, that's a pretty good sized planter. So if there's a contract next month for planting canola, if there happens to be, that might just be a good way to go. That'd be fun. I haven't planted canola yet. Let's see if we can do this turn in one shot. I think we did. Whoops. Oh, I was moving the boom up and down. I was like, what's that noise? Oh yeah, we got that pretty good. And actually, we might catch up with the big bud here. Let's see, how wide is that? Nah, we'll be right behind him. We should be able to follow right behind him. It's always fun. I think it's always fun working with two tractors on the same field, especially when you start getting close to one another, and then it takes some really careful management. Or even if you have three tractors in the same field, and if you can get everything coordinated just right. But we don't need anything behind this. Of course, the question is still what to do with the grass, and that also goes back to our grass pasture up there by the cattle farm. I haven't strictly decided what to do with it. I have that. We've got a baler, and it is... Where is our baler? It might be over there. But we got our baler, and we got a forage wagon. We can... I don't see why not. Let's construct us a place to store some bales. Yeah, which I've been talking about. We'll do that. We'll construct us some stuff to store some bales. Or, sorry, a place to store some bales. And then we'll forage some of it. We'll bale some of it, and we'll pick some of it up loose and do a little bit of half and half. Yeah, I don't see why not. Bale some, ferment some, dry some. Makes sense to me. Haven't touched that grass over there. We'll do that next month, along with maybe that'll give us something to do next month. We'll deal with the grass, and maybe also pick up a contract if they've got a good one for us. So we should... Whoops, I did it again. And I did it yet again. It's my bad on that. Should be able to fit another row in here. Let's see. Oh yeah, we can do another row before we catch up to the big bud. See how far he's getting over here. Did he get all the way to the edge? Oh, almost all the way to the edge. Almost. So I am going to stop over here, head over here, and I'm going to stop him, because if the worker turns around knowing these workers, he's going to run part of the cedar onto the train track, and I don't want that. If I know how these guys work, he's going to do something silly like that. So let's take control of the big bud here and finish this up. We'll deal with it. Small rocks like that aren't going to hurt my machinery too much, but then again, big machinery has big repair costs. Don't think... Well, no, I've had to repair stuff, but not since early this year. Looks like my cedar... Well, cedar and tractor both. Cedar could use a bit of repair, and it could be the stones in the ground that's causing that. Yeah, because the cedar's got more damage to it than the tractor does, and that seeder has only run with this tractor, so sometimes it's hard to tell where you have and haven't been. I gotta say, honestly, I can't tell. That's odd. Oh, that's because we just did that small strip. That's why. I'm out of it today, apparently. I think I've been out in the field too long. All right, let's get this folded up. We're done with this until, well, I mean, unless a contract requires it, or we're done with this because I'm not buying another field. So we'll haul that back. But again, I'm looking to buy, take on a contract, so we might want it. So let's get this turned around for the last pass. And yeah, it does actually go pretty quick, this 8 hectares. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of places where 8 hectares would be really large, but we've managed to kill this off in just a little bit, making both a seeding run and fertilizer. Yeehaw. And that is this road just about done. That's the field just about done. So yeah, I'm gonna get this tool, these equipment. I'm gonna get this equipment packed back away in the barn, in the sheds, and there we go. Let's get this folded up. Yeah, get this stuff cleaned off and packed back away. We could wait till August. Yeah, I do want to get that seeder back home because we may not even be needing it for a while, maybe. And these fields are so big when you drive by them. It's just like, well, yeah, it feels like, yeah, being back in Texas. Well, when I lived in Indiana, the fields were the same size out there. That's what it's like driving on the road. Yeah, we do want to wash this. This tractor's not had a wash in a little while. So I'll pull it over there. Yeah, neither has the sprayer. And unless I have a contract to do so, yeah, I don't see we'll be using this really at all for a while. For a couple months anyway. I don't see it. But every time I say I don't think I'll be doing this anytime soon, that tends to change. So, you know, we shall see. And when I speak of crops that we have to sell and such like that, I'll show you what I mean here. This is what we have in storage. Total between my bins. Is this just my bins, or is this the train depot as well? I think this is everything together. That is quite a bit. Yeah, and that's just what we have in storage right now. That's what's waiting to be sold from the last harvest. There's the barley we have left over from our contract. Yeah, this is all together because that's the combined oats. And yeah, so that's quite a bit. That'll be quite a bit. I can't wait. That's going to be December, I believe. It should be December when we sell that off. Let's get this over by the, get this in queue for the wash station. And then let's jump down there and let's grab the big bud. When we get back to the farm, I'm going to want to, oh yeah. Well, we'll have a bunch of stuff in queue for the washer. But when we get back to the farm, I'm going to want to refill the seeder so I don't forget. I'm going to check to see how much we've got in our seed tank. Let's see. We need to buy some more seeds, but we've got enough to fill this for right now. Let me pop this up here. Looks like I need to get a little bit closer. There we go. Let's fill this up with seeds. There we go. And I'm going to have to remember to buy some more seeds. Bring them down here to the silo. Yeah, I kind of do want to get all this stuff washed off. It's been a while. Well, the big bud is okay, but so we hit it with the sprayer before we went out onto the field. But the cedar, not so much. And this trailer, look, it's yeah, this semi and this trailer, boy, harvesting that barley. The wheel's nice and good here. This trailer was once shiny, and there we go. It's looking a little better. Let's go ahead and pull this over where it goes. Everything put away. Let's see. Let's turn it around here. We should have room. I still need to get that dirt over here that I said I was going to, but I'm not sure I want fresh shiny equipment set in the dirt. We'll figure something out over there. And this is going to get, oh, we need to refill this. Well, I'll refill this when we use it next. Because the tank is over on field 10. Sorry, field 1 is where the tank is at. Although we might have some fertilizer here, but I'll refill this when we use it next. Let's get this tank sprayed off. Just a little bit. Yep, get all the equipment put away for the month. Well, let's go ahead and let's park this back in the garage. Boy, there's a lot of stuff to keep clean here on this farm. Big Bud's mostly just in the wheels and stuff. Let's get it a little bit anyway. It's a classic tractor, and I want to keep it looking nice so we don't have maintenance problems down the road. This guy is gunky as all get out. I don't think that we've washed this once since we've had it, and it is seeded. Boy, 3 different fields now. Yeah, that's pretty good. This stuff gets parked over in the carport. It's the only place in the farm that's big enough to park either one of these tools. No way either of these is fitting. I don't think the cedar does. It might fit in the machine shed, but since it's always attached to the Big Bud, we'll just pull them both under here. I still got to get the harvester and a couple more things put away for the month. Yeah, and again, this guy, very filthy from, yep, the barley harvest. This will not be being used for a while. There's no the soonest we could use this will be, well, October when we harvest our soybeans. So let's get this cleaned off. And this was clean. I think this was clean when we went out to harvest the barley. I think it was. But that was 27 hectares. That's about like 60, 70 acres. Something like that, about 60 acres, I think. Make sure to get up in there. And up here where the header attaches. Let's put this away. Do we want to... Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stow the header as well. And that's about it, except for... Let's pause this right here. Let's grab our 9RX. Let's put it in the machine shed where it goes. So it's not sitting outside all month. Whew, so much farm work to do, just moving things around the farm. Keep things put away. If things don't keep... I mean, if I don't keep things put away... And you've already seen this happen. I will forget where stuff is. If I don't keep things put away, I will forget where things are. For instance, I've already forgotten where the baler's at. See, I think it might be down by the grass pasture, but I'm not 100% on that. I don't want to lose track of stuff. This goes in the machine shed. Let's move this out of the wash bin area. And I'm going to put this header back on the trailer, and hopefully the trailer will stay stationary. We'll park the trailer somewhere. Which way is the trailer facing now? Okay. We'll get the trailer and the header parked somewhere out of the way. Now everything's clean and put away. Just about put away. Let's stay on there. Is it on there straight? More or less. It's not going anywhere. Let's park this somewhere else. I think I might be rolling around here because the ground's not level. Let's pull this around behind the tool shed for now. If I can do it without bumping into my own header. Whoa, like that. We don't want to do that. That is it's a long header. Did I not get it centered? Nah, I didn't get it centered right on there. It's wanting to slide off. It's wanting to slide off on us. Yep. If you don't get this on there just right, that's why I was trying to be careful, and I was like, oh, that's good enough. No, it's not. It's not on there all the way. Well, one thing we can do, let's straighten the header out. Makes it easier to get on and off the trailer if I straighten out the articulation in it. Now, that should be a little better anyway. I was just trying to pull it behind the tool shed. It's you know, and honestly, I think right there is probably good for now. I'm not going to make that turn with it without running over some of my soybeans. I don't think it's going to make that turn. We'll just leave it right there for now. It's not too in the way of anything. And let's put this back where it goes. Shut everything up for August. All right. Let's close this all down. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in to episode 5, where we finished our contract and kind of got everything else that I need. We got our grass down. We got our grass fertilized and everything ready for, I'm just making sure everything's shut for the month here. Yeah, we got everything set. We got the cattle farm. We got some stuff started there. Still more to do. Maybe we'll be planting next month. I plan on coming up here in August. Plan on perhaps taking on a contract And I want to check on the grass, start a contract, and something else I want to have a look at. Yeah, we're going to deal with that grass too. We're going to be dealing with the grass, which will be some baling, and then we'll be storing some of it. But it looks like a lot of the equipment we've been using is kind of put away for right now. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Leave me a like if you think the video's good, and if I earned your subscription, leave a comment below and subscribe to the channel. Follow along. We'll have more in this series coming tomorrow with part 6. We're taking off in August. Thanks a lot, guys.